Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in this edition of Sales Boomerang University. We've got SBU going on, the July edition. We're very excited. Going to give a moment here for everyone to start trickling on in, but pumped up to talk some relevant market information here with everyone and get you guys cooking. The chat will be active as always. Love to see people coming on in right at the top of the hour on schedule here. But today we are just going to be covering how we can use Sales Boomerang as well as Mortgage Coach to help enhance and keep our top producers happy and fed with food on the table. Please let us know in the chat, where are you joining us from? We have Nicole here letting everyone know, where are you joining us from? I am currently in Orlando visiting a lender partner of ours doing an in-person training on Sales Boomerang as well as Mortgage Coach. We are happy to do that for any of you. Please reach out to your CSM to schedule those, but we love to come get on the road and go out and spread the good word, share best practices, speak face-to-face with your sales team and those who are ultimately utilizing this technology. So let us know where you are viewing from, everyone. Perfect. And again, I'm in Orlando here right now, originally in Baltimore. But yeah, today's topic, guys, how do we use Sales Boomerang to keep your advisors from flying the coop? So wanted to go ahead and get started here. Don't want to waste too much time. This won't be a relatively long one today. So the agenda, of course, and we're going to share in the chat as well. We have some monthly ebooks. We also have our Sales Boomerang resource hub. You can find at support.salesboomerang.com. Again, that is support.salesboomerang.com. And you'll be able to log in, view all of our best practices, view our scripting, view information on our alerts, tons of information that way. But wanted to talk into two factions. How do we help our top producers continue to grow, continue to find opportunities in a purchase market where volume is down 40% on average throughout the industry from last year, as well as how can we help retain and grow and provide upward mobility for our new, our younger, or our less seasoned loan originators, our loan officers as well. So those are the topics we're going to be covering today, guys. Very excited. Again, my name is Spencer Schultz. I am a training, growth, and adoption strategist with Sales Boomerang, former loan officer myself for a few years. Was a top producer. I got into the data and analytics side of things and ultimately ended up at Sales Boomerang, trying to help put every borrower in the right loan today. So I'm available to do training sessions remotely, in person, with your branches, with your staff at summits, and help your team utilize Sales Boomerang to its fullest capacities. Very excited to have you here today. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Perfect. So wanted to examine, what is it that keeps an employee in, and what is it that sends an employee out? We just got a study done by McKinsey & Company, one of the leading managerial survey companies, consultants in the country. And what they found was incredibly that it wasn't compensation as the number one answer that is driving people to leave from April 2021 to April of 2022. Obviously, the hybrid world, the remote world, all of the advancements we've had, Zoom and Windows, all of these things that we have that are able to provide that flexibility, that's becoming much more important. But the number one answer, guys, why are people leaving? Lack of career development and advancement. The lack of upward mobility causes people to look elsewhere for that. Once you've been in that routine for a while, I'm sure many of you can relate, you're able to go see for yourself, where can I go find another opportunity? And that's where we want to help by using Sales Boomerang, using Mortgage Coach to keep those upward mobility in place, to keep compensation increasing, as well as resources. Make sure you can see here, it was the last answer here, but it ties in several ways. Inadequate resource ability was one of the number one answers. It made it onto their list ultimately. Uncaring, uninspiring leaders, I think, ties into that one very much so. The number three reason why. Unsustainable work expectations, all of these tie in, and there are ways Sales Boomerang can help. Lack of meaningful work. How do we help people? How do we feel like we are establishing a borrower for life, which is obviously our motto? How do we feel like we're going to ultimately put the average American homeowner in a better spot, help them establish wealth, all of those things? So we're going to get into that and exactly how to do so. Wanted to go through our product suite. We're going to use this intelligence. Again, we can look at all of these things as notifications, as alerts, a listing alert you might have, a reverse mortgage alert, a credit improvement alert, all of these different things. When you look at our full suite, though, these are not just this isn't just one piece of information. This isn't a quick fix. Sales Boomerang is not lead generation. We're not here to help put a couple quick loans into your pipeline to increase your bottom line over the next month or two, or over the next quarter. We are for 2 decades. We are not for 2 weeks. We are intelligence. All of these alerts together tell the story of the borrower. They tell the story of where the borrower is going, what the borrower could do, or what they need, or what they are interested in. Our alerts, our intelligence is a living, breathing organism. With that being said, we're able to use all of these, whatever they are, to help that borrower be in the right loan at the right time, and also make money in the same sense. We're here to help. So a listing alert, someone might list their home for sale. They might not end up selling, but that's an opportunity for a conversation with the borrower, an opportunity to get in front of someone that might be a lead, might be someone you funded a loan with in the past. It might be, a referral that you have from a referral partner, all of those things ultimately. But with every alert, we're able to project their next best loan. We're able to forecast what will be to the benefit of their goals over time. So our full product suite, don't isolate these into individual events. Think of them as a symbiotic way of helping borrowers take advantage when they have opportunity in the market. And this is how we help retain employees. So something I like to visit, especially at the branch level, and please let me know if we have some branch managers or some branch owners here as well, but creating a retention division within your branch, within your division, within your department, whatever it may be, is a great way. And Nicole, please go ahead, but a great way to be able to add benefits for our, let's say, our developmental, our BDSMs, our BSMs, whatever you call them, your developmental reps, your outbound sales team, those who aren't licensed yet. Those, as they're getting licensed, as they're, we can funnel these to some of our lower producers. If we have LOs that have left, we still have these leads or records, different things can help them to establish a pipeline. Number one, help them to get their foot in the door, make relationships with a couple of borrowers to hopefully end up being a borrower for life, or understand the process, seeing the whole picture over time of how multiple loans can help a certain borrower, helps them to understand the workflow, what it is to receive an alert or to receive information. At the end of the day, all Sales Boomerang is doing, in essence, is saying, hey, let's say I'm good friends with you. You're a mortgage advisor, and I learned that my brother is shopping for a mortgage right now. Okay, well, what if I told you as an LO, hey, my brother's actually shopping for a mortgage right now. Maybe you should give him a call. That's all Sales Boomerang is doing. So what do you do with that alert from there? Understanding the workflow, understanding how to help someone get to that point of closing a loan. And once they have mastery of these processes, once they establish that pipeline, they understand the workflow, they have mastery over a retention division. We're saying we're funneling some of these alerts, perhaps this intelligence, to a certain younger or developing LO. That provides them ultimately with upward mobility. They can take this retention division idea, they can go start their own team. They can go take this around your corporate offices to different branches and start that way and be a consultant almost of building these out. That provides more opportunities, more stepping stones when you create this retention division. And that, again, is the number one answer as to why people might leave. And ultimately, you're closing more deals. If you're concentrating, if you have overflow, if you have a pond of alerts that are sitting, not being followed up on, all of those sorts of things, your LOs are too busy or they don't understand, having a younger team that can concentrate these alerts and turn them into applications, focus on them, they can get mastery of that. That ultimately provides them upward mobility, which is the Family Feud right now, number one answer of why people are leaving their place of work. So all of these aspects are going to enhance what your younger team is doing or what your developing team is doing. Not necessarily your top producers. These things, already apply. Some of them, you can help a top producer, have a team under them, things like that. But for our younger developing producers, this is how you give them the pipeline, understanding, mastery. You're providing upward mobility and giving them that essence of what it means to establish a borrower for life ultimately. Now, on the other side of that, how do we feed our top producers? Well, by using top technology, such as Sales Boomerang, such as Mortgage Coach, we're going to be immediately adding to their pipeline. Again, we're not lead generation, but we are going to show opportunities. We're going to get at bats for your LOs that they weren't going to get. And hey, so in some instances, it could be a 100-mile-an-hour fastball right on the outside corner of the plate. Other times it could be a hanging curveball. But we're able to add 2 loans a month to your top producers. They are going to buy in. They are going to feel supported. They're going to feel the resources, feel that they are on the cutting edge, that they are at a place that is modern, progressive, as a lender that is able to ultimately uplift and continue putting food on the table, getting at bats, all of those cliches to your top producers. This is how we get ahead of the market using Sales Boomerang. And again, guys, I want you to think of the story of the borrower using this intelligence. This is how, oh, well, now we're in a purchase market. Rates are high. There's 40% less loan volume. Well, guess what? By using intelligence, we understand when a borrower can strike when the iron's hot relative to their goals. Using these alerts, we can tell them, we anticipate this to happen to the market, X, Y, and Z to happen in the market over the next 12, 18, 24, 36 months. And this is when you can meet your goal, regardless of what type of market it is. We can use Sales Boomerang to find purchase opportunities. We've already done SBU on that. We're able to provide those videos as well. But how do I react in a purchase market to find opportunity using Sales Boomerang? How do I get ahead of a refi market? There's going to be a refi market coming, next year as well. So regardless of volatility, we're able to stay ahead using this intelligence to anticipate when borrowers can strike. That provides a stable environment for your top producers where they feel like expectations can stay more consistent. They're going to get those opportunities regardless of market more consistently as well. And the final one here, guys, it's just in the end, consistency. We're giving them at bats. We're giving them all of these opportunities at the end of the day to be able to use intelligence to get ahead and retain borrowers for life, increase retention, get ahead of the market, all of these different opportunities here. So those are 2 ways to feed your top producers here, guys, using this 2 perspectives, 2 attitudes, as well as in strengthening, your younger team, your lower level team. You're able to ultimately end up putting both sides in a good place and having a big family table where you're able to put food on the table for these LOs. Wanted to talk about our life alert events here, guys, briefly as well. Life event, we did a SBU on this last month, but we're going to let you know anytime someone in your database has something that would go into public record. You can see the examples here: birth, graduating high school, emerging professional, divorce, marriage, newly single, all of those types of things. That is an alert that we now have, that we are offering, where we're able to show where any transaction, any sort of public record from these types of life situations, life events would result in a mortgage transaction. We can bring that as part of the deal. That another way we can help find opportunities regardless of market. Life happens regardless of what interest rates are. We're going to be able to show opportunities within your pipeline on how to enhance your top producers, bring up your learning, developing as well producers, and put them in the best situation possible. Life events are fantastic. Please go to the next slide here. And again, this is an example of what those look like. You're able to see exactly what it is. There's going to be initial alert rates, about 6.5% we're anticipating. We have full scripting available within our resource hub on how to handle these pretty delicate situations in some opportunities. There's a direct approach and a more passive approach as well. But at the end of the day, it's about helping the borrower navigate difficult situations, happy situations, being there. Again, consistency regardless. You're there for your borrower when life is blossoming, blooming, all of those fantastic things. You're there for them ultimately as well when things are a little tougher. They have to make tough decisions. You're there to give them confidence using the intelligence of Sales Boomerang, able to present it cleanly using Mortgage Coach, who we are of course integrated with as well, and ultimately end up being that stable force in a borrower's life. Again, thank you so much for joining us, guys. The big takeaways here, we want to always, I always want to end on these 3 notes. If you're a producer, take these 3 things away. If you're a manager, take these 3 things to your team. Not here to tell you how to sell, but here to help you utilize our technology. Always, 1, we want to make sure that we are making the call, sending the text, sending the email, sending the TCA. If you don't call, you won't close the loan. If you don't follow up on the alert, you won't close the loan. Number 2, when you follow up, if you don't ask, you won't know. If you don't ask a borrower, if you receive a cash out alert, you understand a borrower has a really significant equity position, a debt position, they're well credit qualified, all of those parameters. Perhaps they are interested in an investment property, a vacation home, a rental property, all of those sorts of things. Perhaps they are interested in doing a significant renovation loan to turn their home into their dream home or make an accommodation for their family. If you don't ask, you won't know. That's my second takeaway. Be creative with these. Ask questions. Find your borrower's goals. We want to do 20% of the talking and let the borrowers do 80% of the talking ultimately. The third thing, we want closure from every alert. Does that mean that we're getting applications 100% of the time? No, of course not. Does that mean we're closing 100% of deals out of alerts? No. But we should always have three takeaways. One, like I said, if you don't call, you won't close the loan. If you don't ask, you won't know. And three, we want our greens, our yellows, and our reds in all aspects of being a loan officer, all aspects of being a loan originator. If I receive an alert, receive that bit of intelligence, I reach out to a borrower, or even not, nothing to do with Sales Boomerang, and it's a green. It's someone that I can proceed with. It's someone who ultimately I'm going to take an application from. I need to send more information to, urgently. They are interested. That's my green. I proceed in my CRM. I'm a detailed note taker. I write down their goals. I proceed with greens. I label them as important or urgent, and I set a task or a follow-up date for a phone call, a reminder, all of those things. Then I have my yellows. My yellows will be alerts that I want to follow up on. Maybe, the borrower is interested. I planted a seed. Well, maybe they would be interested at the end of summer at using some of their equity to establish more equity while upgrading their home through a construction or renovation loan. Okay, fantastic. They're coming back in August or in September. They want more information then, or they're waiting for X, Y, or Z to happen personally or in the market. Okay, I take down those notes. I label myself accordingly. Again, guys, this is how we get a clean pipeline and we stay ahead of it. Then I've got my reds. I was a junior LO at one point. I was an LOA. I was making calls, getting cold calls, get a name, an address, some information, and then ultimately trying to go, find a deal. Well, I got told digitally, I got given the middle finger through the phone many a times, and that's okay. We label them red. We move on. We check it off. Hey, maybe I'll follow up with them next time they have an alert or next year or whenever it would be. But I don't need to keep worrying about that alert. I already got the closure. I had my greens. I'm ready to move. Closure. My yellows. Waiting. Going to check back in. Closure. Red. Move on. Closure. Close yourself out. Be a detailed note taker. Those are my three big takeaways. Thank you so much for joining us. This was more of a brief one here today. But again, if you're interested in any in-person training, if you'd like to have branch training for one of your top producing branches, if you want to do training remotely over a Zoom meeting, we offer that for all of our clients. And also we do these webinars consistently. We're partnered with Mortgage Coach. We'll have another very interesting one next month. We're going to have Dave Savage, the head of Mortgage Coach. We're going to have Alex Kuznichin, the head of Sales Boomerang, two masterminds of the mortgage intelligence industry. And we're going to tell you how to stay ahead of the market and not feel the volatility. We want to be independently strong regardless of the market. I mentioned that here briefly today. We're going to go further later in August with another SBU. Thank you so much for attending. Great things on the way. Really appreciate everyone who joined us here today. This recording will be sent out and we expect you for the next SBU and beyond. So go close some loans, go help some people. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Spencer Schultz and we'll be speaking shortly. Go close loans.